Peace to the universal family. I come in the divine name of earth. Say love. Say is short for savior because we all saviors out here saving ourselves, saving lives, and empowering others to do the same. I needed to come on today to give y'all a brief overview and reintroduction to the topic of mentorship. We're in our 24th topic in our 52 topic sequence in our Mentorship and Advocacy Program 2023 Almanac. So, first of all, I want to reintroduce my first curriculum. We just received the copy of our third edition of Hip Hop in the Art of Peace Education. It's 134 pages. Based on my master's thesis, there is a workbook, an 8.5 by 11, that's 32 pages, that coincides with the 44 questions and activities within this first book. So, this is a curriculum introducing the field of peace education in the context of hip hop culture, as well as defending hip hop culture as a culture of peace, as a philosophy of peace. And that's really building off from the hip hop declaration of peace as well. So that's very important. We're in the 50th anniversary of hip hop. So we just dropped the third edition. And this is something that we'll be seeking to facilitate to youth and young adults, particularly those at risk or high risk, ages 12 to 25. And we do recommend that it's guided by a mentor, educator, parent, but essentially it's for ages youth and young adults, ages 12 and up. Again, it is based on academic curriculum, academic writing, so for adults as well. So that is the third edition. This is the second edition, so just slight improvement on the cover and a few minor modifications on the interior. So this first quarter of 2023, I knocked out my first mentorship and advocacy program almanac. The concept is a map, often in the field of prevention, education, anti-trafficking. A compass is often seen as the symbol, as the North Star guiding us to freedom. So incidentally, mentorship and advocacy program, the acronym is MAP. So this is an almanac for the year 2023. It includes adult coloring, writing prompts for every month and season, as well as a calendar, a monthly calendar, and a weekly planner, and a space for note-taking for each of the 52 topic sequence in the original 52 topic sequence, which essentially is our table of contents. I didn't write about those topics in the workbook because this is the workbook itself. So I just listed the topics to provide a guide for us throughout this year. And that's why I'm hopping on every Monday and giving a brief introduction and overview of each of these 52 topics that I've put together in prevention education. So we just strive to come on around 4 o'clock on Mondays, pending what's going on with the rest of our work schedule. And in the future, we'd like to do pre-production. However, right now we're just coming on organically. We're going live. We're speaking to the people. You're welcome to hop on the chat. If you do check the video description, you will find the links if you would like to purchase the workbook and work along with us. That is in the video description. There's also a feedback submission form, especially for our clients in the program or for any case management or any agencies who are interested who would like to get involved. And I did include also in the video description today a link to our back to school wish list on Amazon. It is tax deductible. So if you're an individual or business out there who's interested to donate to our mentorship program, that link is below. All the information is there if you're looking to have it, tax deductible. So again, this is the almanac, and I also designed this in the first quarter, which is our 2023 journal. And the concept behind this is Women's Empowerment Network with an I. Our motto is I am power, I empower. And we're Women's Empowerment Network, a network of empowered women, empowering women. Brothers, it's okay. I do have at least one brother who's got a copy of this. It's all right, just as long as you support the women. We appreciate y'all as well. So the interior is blank aside from the half title page and title page. the belonging page, but there's some ankhs on the interior. So wonderful supplement for note-taking, poetry, daily journaling, writing memoir, song lyrics. Each individual in our program is unique, so we want this to be catered to you and your interests. So that's just a supplement for Wednesdays as we're striving to expand our village. We all know it takes a village. Mentorship is more than just the one-on-one connection is vital. But again, I'm only adept in certain professional areas. I'm not proficient or adept in everything. So I may have young ladies who want to grow up to be lawyers or doctors or engineers. So I want to make sure I do have representation from all sectors, powerful women, other artists, as well as just to provide a platform for empowered women to empower women. So that will be the example that we set here in our mentorship and advocacy program. So again, if you're interested to follow along and join with us, the link is there if you want to get the journal and or the almanac. It's available on site. You can also find it on Amazon if you search for Earth, Say Love, first name Earth, last name Say Love. So that is the introduction to the curriculum, y'all. And as mentioned, today's topic is mentorship. So we're in our 24th sequence out of 52, 20, my apologies. We're in our 25th sequence out of 52. So the 26 will be the final in the first half of the year, and then 27 will begin our second half of the year. So we're in sequence 25. Pardon me, y'all, if I misspoke. So mentorship, now that we're almost closing out the first half of the year, it's appropriate that we do have this reintroduction, this recap of what is mentorship, what is survivor mentorship, why are we here, and how did I get involved as a mentor? So where shall I begin? Well, mentorship really is just the concept of having one person who's adept providing guidance to a younger person, or to a less, not necessarily younger in this case, yes, but someone who's new to a certain field. Survivor mentorship is in the field of prevention education, and survivor mentorship is just the idea of there being one person, usually an older, an adult person, who has survived or been through a particular hardship or life experience, who's been able to navigate out of that and now can provide guidance and support to a younger person who may just have certain challenges that maybe not everybody would understand. So that's the purpose of having a survivor mentor, someone who can relate. They're not going to judge you. They can provide some guidance. And again, that's why we designed the almanac with the compass, like the North Star, guiding us through all seasons of life, the highs and the lows. That is the concept of mentorship and advocacy program, 2023 almanac. So that is survivor mentorship. And we're here in prevention education. So how I first got involved as a mentor, I'll give you how I got involved professionally. I'm going to give you the personal and the professional kind of backdrop, how I got involved in this field. So in 2016, there was an opening by Selah Freedom, which is located in Central Florida. And they were searching for a mentor. So I got on the call, and from there, things progressed pretty quick, and I got the position. So essentially, it does take a special kind of person for this particular role. Professional experience is a plus, of course, but it's that life experience that really, that having have navigated through out of certain life experiences that really provides the qualification necessary. So to give y'all the rewind, and then we'll bring you back up to speed. My life experience, it really highlights as a minor, particularly the ages of 12 to 16 were very rocky and tumultuous for me, and for my brother. May Allah be pleased with him. The two of us were very, very, very close, and we went through some hard times. And so over that period of time, My brother was in juvenile detention. I was in and out of there, hold for court, group homes, and so forth. I had, left home at the age of 12, and, I was striving to look out for my brother. And by the age of 14, I had finally been reported missing by the state when I left a particular group home. So I was missing at 14, and just before my 15th birthday, they located me in another state. I was found. I was eventually recovered. Once they recovered me, they were searching for a placement for me. I was placed into a kinship with my friend's family. So I live with one of my adopted families, my first adopted family. I lived with them. Again, I had stayed with them on and off before, but I was in their custody from the age of 15 to 16. When I turned 16, I decided I was going to get a job and I was going to get on my feet and get my own place. I was really too young, or I was pretty young, I would say I definitely would have benefited from more adult guidance and supervision. But at the time, I really wanted to provide a safe place for my brother to also live with me. So that is kind of my backdrop with my life experiences. I'm not going into detail with the particular hardships, but you could imagine being a missing child, being out there. I was at very high risk. Very high risk for exploitation, abuse, for a multitude of things that I had to navigate out of and I had to overcome, essentially. So that is my youth experience. Now, my life experience, by no means, it continued after the age of 16, but that is the block of youth experience that I draw the most from, whether it be my firsthand, my personal experience, secondhand, my brother's experience, thirdhand, my peers' experience, because it wasn't only me, being in and out of group homes and foster care, group juvenile detention, and so forth. I mean, if I didn't go through it, one of my peers were going through something else, So there was a lot of things that I experienced first, second, third hand. So that's the life experience piece that I draw from. One important thing I want to mention: when I was in juvenile detention between the ages of 12 to 13, I saw a particular case on the news, and it was a young lady. She was only 16. Her name is Sarah Cruzan. And they were trying this young sister for life without any possibility of parole for taking the life of her trafficker at the age of 16. When I saw this on the news, I was only 12, 13, and it was common sense to me that it made no sense. It was an injustice that they would strive to put this young sister, only 16, in jail for the rest of her life without even looking into what kind of trauma she had went through. The man who had trafficked her was more than twice her age. So it was just common sense to me that she had been through some trauma and that should have been considered before, locking her up and throwing away the key. So I promised myself at that time that in the future, when my life was more on track, that I would reach back, I would find the sister, and I would strive to assist her with getting her freedom. So I did just that. So as time moved on, as a young adult, I was going to school. I was producing radio, college radio, and hip hop. I was developing myself as a hip hop artist. I was doing really well in that regard. I was DJing, working odd jobs, overnight shifts in group homes. And I knew I needed to relocate. I knew I needed to expand from where I was at, but I didn't really have a solid career path or really any path. I didn't really have any guidance as to how to get to achieve my goals from where I was at. I did want to continue to pursue music and art, which still to this day, I am pursuing my goals. And I also knew that I wanted to make an impact. So I searched for a school to study human rights education. And that's when I found the University for Peace. And they had a program in peace education that includes human rights education. So I studied 2008, 2009. I was living in Central America. And I completed my master's in education and peace, education for peace, or peace education. And the thesis, that's what I based this publication off from. So I completed the program in 2009. I wanted to do an internship, but I really had to get to work because I had to continue to pay off my school. I had, just living expenses. I had to, just deal with life in general. So I ended up getting some odd jobs, call centers, substitute teaching, paraeducator. I was doing just childcare, anything I could do to make ends meet. Um, but I got in contact with Sarah and a friend of hers who was running her national campaign at the time, as well as Sarah's aunt. And I asked, I was just submitting or I was writing the thesis at the time. And I asked, how can I get involved? Can I co-organize this campaign? I've been studying human rights education. I want to support a human rights global campaign for Sarah Cruzan. So by the time I submitted this in 2010, I really got on with full on co-organizing nationally to free Sarah Cruzan. We rebranded as another sister came on based in California. Shout out to Carrie. And we rebranded the campaign as I Am SJK. And from there, we really picked up a lot of traction. There was really a lot of momentum in her campaign at that time. And all praise is due to our creator, and thanks to her tremendous supporters and pro bono attorneys and everybody who was involved. By 2013, in October of 2013, she was released from prison. Prior to that, they did reduce her sentencing. So it was just at that point, just a matter of time until she was released from prison. So she was released in 2013. And that is just my backstory of how I got involved in the anti-trafficking field. Pardon y'all. So after completing that campaign for Sarah in 2014, I was connected through my hip hop community with a brother, another dual national brother, tribal, who needed assistance with recovering his missing daughters. So once they were located in another state. And it just became really complicated being that he's dual national, tribal. It was another state. It was very complicated. We didn't really have any agency support. We couldn't really afford any fancy attorney or anything like that. So we really just started studying, all types of international family court, dependency, international law, you name it. We were studying it. And more importantly, applying it. It was complicated. It was really complicated. And that's another area that in the future we hope to provide more support for families going through those situations, because we've been from the ground up. We went through it. So that I was working with alongside him from 2014 to 2017. And although it's very different, it was a very different case. It did involve, missing children, family court, dependency, international law. So although it was different, it was very much connected with the field of human trafficking. Definitely that education-wise and legally, there's a lot in common there. Through that process, I also did the guardian ad litem certification, so I would know really what it takes to advocate for the best interest of children in court. So as we were closing out that case, that's when I saw the opening with Selah Freedom, and they were searching for a survivor mentor, a prevention advocate, someone with lived experience, preferably with professional experience. And that is how I got involved as a mentor. So I've been mentoring young queens, young ladies throughout Central Florida since 2016. And I do want to just make the disclaimer, those who are referred to me, they may be at high risk, they may be at risk, or they may just there may just be a need there where there's a need designated that they need that mentorship. So I just want to be clear, in no way do we label anyone who's part of our program. This is prevention education. The whole idea is to prevent any form of hardship or exploitation. In some cases, it may be an intervention as well. It may be an intervention where young people have been through something. That's definitely part of what we do as well. So just a disclaimer, so it's not about labeling. And that's always a huge thing in these areas where people are almost afraid to get support, or afraid to reach out because they don't want to be labeled or pigeonholed. So it's really important that we respect that and we understand this is prevention education. Okay. So we strive to do that in our flavor of mentorship and advocacy is really advocate for prevention and prevention education and instilling that education into young people that they understand these different topic areas in prevention. They understand vulnerabilities, they understand safety plans. So, all those topics are in our mentorship and advocacy program. And we do one on ones with our clients. But we also come on every Monday and we drop just a little jewel, little bit of prevention education with one by one of our 52 topics. So, essentially, that is our mentorship and advocacy program. And I do want to ask y'all who are in the workbook that you, for this Monday, which again is the 25th sequence, you can either take notes by the letter M, and let me just show y'all real quick. That's one of my adult colorings. So you can take notes either by the letter M, or if you want to flip to the back page where it's got the two letter M topics, you can take notes there as well. So I would like for you to write about your experience in mentorship, what you would like to see, what's working for you, what's not working for you, what you would like to see more of in mentorship, what areas in your life you would like to be mentored, as well as if you have an interest in mentoring young people. And again, that could be anything from becoming an educator, a teacher, a coach. It doesn't necessarily have to come with a title mentor. So just want to put that out there. It can be any field that you're uplifting a younger person or someone with less experience. So that essentially covers it all. Again, the 3rd edition has dropped for those who are interested in checking out our hip hop and the art of peace education. If you go to earthsaylove.com, the menu, you'll see hip hop and art of peace education, as well as mentorship and advocacy program. So you'll find that. Again, the links are in the video description. So if you would like to search for our almanac, our journal, it's available on site as well as on Amazon under the name Earth, Say Love. And then if you could complete our feedback submission form, that's also in the video description. It's on the same page. Or you can just drop us some comments, your response to this week's video. Again, we ask that you do it in the almanac, but you can also drop us those answers right on the submission form. And then once again, let me plug also in the video description, we have our back to school wish list on Amazon. So if you are an individual or business out there and you would like to make a tax deductible donation, we have a wish list. And if you find it's on your heart to contribute to our program, I've updated the list. There's backpacks, notebooks, pens, pencils, as well as a few items that we need for our activities here in mentorship. So that is all for now. I thank y'all so much for tuning in, tapping in with me here in the mentorship and advocacy program. Inshallah, God willing, I'll see y'all Wednesday. Again, Fridays from 6 to 8, we do have the Jazz Flower from 6 to 8. That's also, you can find that also at earthsaylove.com and here on the channel. And that's a great block to work on your journal and your almanac as well. So Friday, 6 to 8. We used to go live and do live painting during the show. That's on pause, but we're still using that block of time to work on our homework here in prevention and mentorship. So that is all for now. Thank you all for being here. We'll be back, inshallah. See y'all Wednesday, Friday, and next Monday. Next Monday, the topic will be mental health. So I'm looking forward to that. And peace and blessings, y'all. Again, I just want to send love to my brother. May Allah be pleased with him. I love you dearly. And peace and blessings to all of y'all. Until next time, I come in the divine name of Earth. Say love. Say is short for savior, because we all saviors out here saving ourselves, saving lives, and empowering others to do the same. Peace and blessings, y'all. Peace.